This video is brought to you by Atlas VPN.
I am not going to let my reputation be compromised by allegations that are not true. I own up to my part in this.
Hey noble ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. Right now I'm in a hotel room because I'm in the middle of traveling with my wife. While I'm at it, I thought I would make this video because this is something I've had on my mind for quite a while now, and it's about this whole alarming situation, drama, scandal, whatever you want to call it, with the fellow YouTuber Jirard, aka the Completionist. Now, normally I don't talk about these sort of topics very often on this platform, but on occasion I do, such as the videos I dedicated to SS Sniper Wolf. And I absolutely love video games, so I had heard of him. I wasn't really a fan, I wasn't watching his content very much, but I always watch Karl Jobst, and I did have a very emotional response, which is the whole thing premise to this video.
Over the past few weeks, allegations have been made against me, my family, and our charitable organization, the Open Hand Foundation, asserting charity fraud and more.
My emotional response to this whole allegation of charity fraud when it comes to the Completionist and the money that he's raised for dementia due to his dead mother through his subscribers and his Open Hand Foundation, we'll talk about that in a second. This whole situation really rubbed me wrong, and the emotional response I got was that it pissed me off and I was really angry. Most of you know I myself not only have raised money for charity, but mostly for children with cancer, but with my own mother being diagnosed with cancer and us going through all of that, the idea that someone could use, allegedly, his own mother as a way to lure people into donating huge amounts of money, to be honest, over the years, and then not donate a single cent, it really, I want to say, rubbed me wrong for emotional connection reasons. But it's also very important, and that's what I'd like to offer today, to try and detach ourselves from emotional responses when it comes to this, if we want to be fair, and really look at the evidence, look at the facts. Because this guy has been accused of a lot of things, and justifiably so, in a lot of instances. But let's see, and let's review these one by one. So, to give you a very short recap, in the 1 in a million chances that you don't know what happened, feel free to skip by clicking this minute. The Completionist is a channel dedicated to, open quote, a journey of completing and celebrating hundreds of video games. Now, as a side aspect of his online persona, Jerard, together with his brother and father, I believe, was a founder of a non-profit organization called the Open Hand Foundation. I think it became non-profit in 2014. Still, the purpose of this organization was to raise money for dementia research due to the fact that Jirard's mother sadly died of dementia. So as a way to honor his mother and also help and support research for dementia. Now, the whole crux of the situation was the fact that over the years, Jirard was extremely successful at raising money and managed to raise over $600,000 in a span of 9 years, but not a single cent was ever donated to the cause. And all of this money just sat in an account. Now, this is really bad for several reasons, some being obvious, others not so much. First and foremost, the fact that this money, due to inflation over a span of 9 years, is going to lose value. It did lose value, and therefore the ability to help is severely decreased because it was not used. Now, there are several labels that have been attached to this guy. For instance, he has been called a fraud and he's been called a psychopath. Now, is he a fraud? Well, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. I can't really, it looks like fraud to me, but I'm not an expert, so I'll leave that to the legal experts. And when it comes to being a psychopath, I am not a psychiatrist, therefore I will leave that one as well to the competent experts or professionals. But there are two that I think I can, in a way, address without needing to be a professional, and they are the accusation of him being a liar and him being a manipulator. Let's review these very quickly. Even though this money stayed in the account and was not used, Jerard continuously stated publicly that they were donating, helping in a major way, and that this money was indeed being given constantly to charities, and he even name-dropped several organizations.
All that money goes to dementia research. We don't touch any of it. We just work with the people who do need the money, and we help them do their thing. Currently working with the University of San Francisco, and we're kind of one of their main funding support partners going into all of this. We're raising money for dementia research in honor of my late mom, trying to help folks who've been impacted by dementia. working with organizations like USF, FTD Association of America, Alzheimer's Association of America, and so many more. Guys, welcome to Indieland. For those of you who don't know what we're doing, we're raising money for dementia research and prevention, helping victims who not only have dementia, but the families of those around them.
You said you were a major donor.
University of San Francisco, and we're kind of one of their main funding support partners.
So, is Jirard a liar? I would say absolutely yes. He appears to be a pathological liar. It has been proven that he has been probably chronically lying about this, and he did not take responsibility for this in his apology video, which is also one of the most damning things about this whole situation, the way I see it. When it comes to the accusation of being a manipulator, is he being manipulative? Well, one of the characteristics of people that use manipulation tactics is the fact that they seek to control not only the perception of people when it comes to the facts, but also their point of view, their words, but also the way they try to ignite, once again, emotional responses into people, particularly non-conscious ones. For instance, Jerard hugging a puppy during his live stream. I mean, that is, you can't get more obvious than that. And I also have a massive problem with the way he did the apology in the apologetic part of the video. Let's check it out.
I'm disappointed that I was not more straightforward regarding the Foundation's timeline for making donations, and that I made statements potentially implying donations were made when they had not yet been.
Not potentially implying. You see, this is legalese we are listening to, which makes this feel insincere. You didn't make statements potentially implying. You specifically said, without any shadow of a doubt, that the money was going into these foundations. And it wasn't. Not potentially implying. This is not an apology then, it's something you're saying, possibly doctored by lawyers.
Most importantly, I want to apologize to anyone who ever donated over the years who felt they were wronged or led astray by any of this.
That as well feels very manipulative. Who felt were wronged and led astray. Feels a little bit like an attempt at gaslighting, to be honest. I'm sorry you feel this way. It's not an apology.
It is perfectly legal to hold donations. We have done nothing criminally wrong or illegal. The Foundation is actually not legally required to distribute a minimum of 5% a year in charitable donations because, once again, the Open Hand Foundation is a public charity. But my family and I have not done anything illegal. Once again,
here is where we see that he talks a little bit about this idea of being perfectly legal to hold the funds. Simply because something is legal doesn't mean that it's moral or acceptable or that it's something that you can do without even addressing the public. I think it's just a matter of, if you've got nothing to hide and you're doing things for the right reasons, just show it. Now, if you found any of this interesting, well, there is much more to come, as we will see after a brief word from the kind sponsor that made this video possible, Atlas VPN. Now, if you're like me and you like to surf the internet looking for interesting historical information, it's a great idea to do it in safety, which is why you should totally use today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. A VPN is a virtual private network that makes all of your internet traffic travel through an encrypted tunnel, and this way it protects you from spying, public Wi-Fi dangers, it hides your IP address, and online activities. Atlas VPN is a great choice because it was developed by cyber security specialists, and among other things, it gives you access to the Data Breach Monitor, which is a security feature designed to track any data breaches related to your online account, automatically scanning any leaked information. But another add-on through Atlas VPN is the fact that you can use Netflix from any countries, regardless of where you are. So let's say that you wanted to watch a show that is only available in the UK, but you live in America. No problem, just change your country through the VPN and boom, access granted. I always have Atlas VPN active on my machine, so that is because one account lets you use multiple devices. I personally really like Atlas VPN not only because it's a great choice, but also because it's really affordable, and that links to today's special offer. Get the price cut. That's $1.70 a month for 3 years plus 6 months for free. If you've been considering getting a VPN but you weren't sure about the prices, then now is the time. And don't forget to click the link in the description. That's $1.70 a month for 3 years plus 6 months for free. Keep in mind that this is a time-limited offer, so be quick and click the link in the description. And big thanks to Atlas VPN for sponsoring my video.
I am sorry. Who have been instructed to... I am sorry. I own up to my part in this.
Now, I think the main problem with this video is the fact that it's two videos fused in one. It's both an apology video to his subscribers,
I am sorry,
and a threatening video towards his accusers.
to insinuate who have been instructed...
Now, the reason why that doesn't work and was a horrible decision is because it's a mismatch. On one side, you look extremely angry and vengeful.
And as mentioned previously, but I will not be painted as someone who is a con artist and embezzler.
And it looks like you're trying to scare your opposition into submission with legal threats.
My family and I are in serious conversations with our legal teams regarding next steps, as the allegations that have been made with complete disregard for the truth of the matter. These allegations are slanderous, and we believe we're done with selfish intent.
Which, I mean, it's Karl Jobst we're talking about here after the whole ordeal with Billy Mitchell. I mean, the guy is not going to back up from a fight, so rather than a calculated move, it looks more like a desperate strike of a cornered beast. On the other side, the apology video is supposed to make you look regretful and sorry and pleading for your subscribers' understanding. And the two things just don't work together, which is why I think this video also rubbed a lot of people wrong, including in his own community. Now, I'm not saying that it's wrong for a YouTuber to try and defend himself from accusations, absolutely not. But he should have dropped the whole legal threat. That should have never happened. And what he should have done is, because it makes him look like a villain, to be honest, what he should have done is divide into two separate videos. First, make an apology video where you are taking responsibility of what you have done towards the people that you have been literally misleading for all of these years, who were the very people that gave you the platform that you have. And then, as a separate entity, create a video where you are defending your own situation, showing all the tax stuff and all the financial reports and everything that goes behind it. But he did not do that.
I should have been more transparent about the money not being donated, and that's on me. I'm here today to provide clarity and transparency.
The concept of transparency. I'm not trying to virtual signal here, so I'd like to put that one out there. What I'm about to say is also something that I'd like to say to tell other fellow content creators. When you feel like you have a platform and you're growing and maybe you're hitting 10,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, 500,000, and you're thinking, hey, I've seen other people do charity events and run all of that. I want to do something like that. It makes me feel good. I want to help other people. That's a beautiful thing. But transparency is key. And this is why I'm about to say what I'm about to say, which is when I did my charity event, which was for trying to raise money for children with cancer, I made it very clear from the start where this money was going, how this money was going to be used, and made sure that people were informed. After the donations arrived, I tried to move the money as quickly as possible. Now, given it did take me 2 months to actually do the donation to St. Jude's Hospital, and that is because first I wanted to find a good, reputable association where I could send the money, but also because in the meantime my mum was diagnosed with cancer, and so I had to rush back home, so that took some time. But I'm telling you, after 2 months, I was feeling really uneasy, regardless of the fact that I was perfectly justified considering the family emergency. I felt so uneasy having this money sitting in my account that the moment I made the donation, I publicly posted everything, all the receipts everywhere for anyone to see. You're not legally required to do it, which is something he keeps bringing up, what's legal and what's not legal. But I think in this case, it's not a matter of whether something is legal or not. It's a matter of whether something is moral or not. But I'd like to underline the fact that I really started feeling uneasy after 2 months, so I can't even fathom having such, and this was about $4,000 that I raised, I can't even fathom $600,000 sitting in my account. I'm aware of it because we know he was aware of it at least since 2022.
You weren't notified that the money was sitting there the whole time?
I knew it was sitting there at a certain point, and that's what made me proactively go about it. I was made aware in 2021 when the money hadn't moved yet. And that's what made me go, that's not fucking cool. And that's when I got personally involved to move it. And
did anyone...
2021, last year, 2022.
Yeah. Did anyone tell you that the money was going somewhere before then? Were you being misled?
No. No one told me anything. I assumed that it was all going to a charity, and I assumed incorrectly.
So he had a whole year, and he said he wasn't aware of it. Before that, maybe that's a lie. I mean, again, we can't trust the guy. He specifically, deliberately lied. So maybe that's a lie. But even if it's not a lie, he still had a whole year when he knew that over $500,000 was sitting in that account after he said publicly to hundreds of thousands of people that money was instead being moved. And he kept saying it. Even during the 1 year from 2022 to 2023 when he was caught, and then he had to speak about this publicly during that year. Not only he didn't inform people and say, hey, by the way, I know I've been saying that this money's been moved, but I wasn't aware there actually wasn't. Let me tell you that this is going to happen. Don't worry about it. Not only did he didn't do that, but he kept saying that money was being donated, even after he had already found out that the money hadn't been moved, therefore blatantly lying. And that's the part that makes anything else he says crumble. Because he continued to tell the same lie, and we know that he lied about it. So even people who are like his core fans, you shouldn't defend him and say this is all orchestrated for clicks. You should ask him for a real proper apology. Number 4 is the fact that he has been accused of having done this so that he could put this money in his own pocket. We can't prove that. And that's where I think we need to be a bit more rational about this situation. What he did is absolutely horrible. And the fact that he specifically lied means that we cannot really trust a word he says. He has already lost that privilege, if you will. But we do need to be selective in the way we bring forth our accusations, because innocent until proven guilty is still the base of any legal interaction, and the court of public opinion is not going to supersede that, a very basic concept. So what I'm trying to say here is we don't know if this was a case of horrible negligence and, generally speaking, ego feeding, which is what I think. In other words, the guy really liked saying this because it made him feel important and it made him more liked by other people, and probably got addicted to the fame of being looked at as the good guy that raises money for a good cause. And that's why he continued to deliberately lying. No questions about that. It's an intentional deception on his part, but we don't know if he actually did it because he wanted to literally steal the money and put it in his pocket. 600,000 were still on the account. The money has been donated, of course, after both Mutahar and Karl Jobst did an excellent investigative job, and they basically discovered all of this. It became public knowledge, and then he donated it.
As of Wednesday, November 29th, 2023, the Open Hand Foundation has donated $600,000 to the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration.
Of course, that doesn't look great because it only looks like, well, you only donated it because you got caught. Once again, not something we can prove, but yeah. But I do believe that this is a case of consistent, deliberate lying, misleading, and misinformation, and most importantly, the betraying of the trust of your fans. Now, if he had made a good apology video, so a video where he showed that he really fucked up, that he recognized and took responsibility like a man for everything he did, and saying specifically that he lied and he shouldn't have done that, and told us exactly why he did that, without building up weird reasons and excuses such as, oh, we needed to wait and we wanted to give this money to the right association. No, that's not the reason why you lied. In theory, that's the reason why you didn't move the money, if we were to believe you. We want to know why you chose to lie. If he said that, acknowledged it, then I'm never against giving people a second chance. No, not with donations, of course. I'm not someone who like cancelling other people, particularly where they show that they really are sorry for the mistakes they've made. But this doesn't seem to be the case at all. This seems to be a case of gaslighting and victim blaming, the victims being his viewers and donors.
I recognize and take accountability for all of my actions.
With that being said, the most important part about all this is that this is what I gather, my thoughts, my take, after having reviewed all the videos, including his video and, of course, Mutahar and Karl Jobst, but I want to know what you think. Do you think I misunderstood something, or was there something that wasn't clear? Did I say something incorrectly? Please let me know in the comments below, as usual, noble ones. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Goodbye.